Hi, I'm Alton. Today we're at the West Point Water Treatment Facility, yeah? And today we're going to be going over the mysteries of toilets.
So,
Great intro.
Alton,
Yeah.
we're back again. You want to introduce this podcast?
Hey guys, I'm Alton. This is Frank, aka Dad, and we're talking about toilets today.
Great. Yeah. And I appreciate that. Thank you. This is yet another episode of the Unresolved podcast, a podcast that exists so Alton can be on a podcast.
Check out the new channel banner and channel icon, please.
Yeah, it's hours of work, I assure you. So Alton, it looks like you were at the West Point wastewater treatment plant, which I think introduces this podcast pretty nicely. So I thought that let's kind of start with
I think I've seen this one.
Yeah. Okay. So you remember in the last episode we were with Voynich, we were talking about the 2 kilograms of gold, right? And you said that it was $10 million or so. Well, interesting thing. I suddenly got this a couple days later. Got this thing about from the New York Times where an artist had installed a big block of solid gold in Central Park, and it was roughly about $11 million worth of gold. And it happened to mention that there was this other art installation not too long ago that New Yorkers had enjoyed that was also solid gold, which was this fully functional toilet.
Oh, so anyone could use it?
Yes, fully functional toilet. Made of solid gold, installed at the Guggenheim. So this toilet existed there. Having found this, it felt like maybe doing a little quick podcast on toilets might be a nice fun segue. So
funny one.
So it is actually a functioning toilet.
Yeah. How do they keep it clean? Because with something so shiny, you'd think certain stains might not be too good for it.
I would imagine that these are probably handsomely paid maintenance people, but I wondered if you might kind of guess what the experience of using a solid gold toilet might feel like.
I mean, gold is a very it's malleable, correct?
It is, yeah. If it's the purer it is, it's the more malleable. Yeah, exactly. That's why athletes will bite their gold medal. Leaves if it's solid gold or very pure gold, it'll leave a tooth mark.
I think sitting on this wonderful toilet might feel empowering.
Interesting. I was thinking more along the lines of cold.
Yeah. Definitely cold.
I don't know. Maybe there's a seat heater. I'm not really sure.
Well, if there's a seat heater, it would melt.
No, it'd have to be pretty hot for that.
Oh.
So anyway, this felt like a really good segue into talking about toilets. Now, toilets. I don't know if you know, but when do you think that the first forms of toilets existed?
Well, define toilet.
Define toilets. Well, I mean, I would say, something reminiscent of what you would consider a toilet today.
Bowl that goes into a sewer once you use it.
I'd say that's a fairly advanced form of toilet. There are a lot of, actually not necessarily true. Actually, some of the earliest toilets were actually hooked up to I wouldn't say a sewer system of sorts, but often were connected to running, kind of a running flow of water. And there were some toilets that have been discovered that dated back to 3,000 or 4,000 years BCE. So
wow.
Something on the order of 5,000 to 6,000 years ago.
Any events that happened around then, any famous people?
No, not that I'm aware of that far. I mean, that's pretty old. My ancient history is pretty out of date, so I wouldn't be able to answer that. But Yeah, but some of these early forms of toilets were, did in fact have were hooked up to some sort of not quite a flushing system, but a canal of sorts, while others were simply just hooked up to pits.
Yep, I've seen.
Fast forward to this I feel like it's probably one of the more advanced toilet systems that you'll ever see. Can you guess where this is?
I'm gonna say it is U.S. Space Station.
It is the International Space Station.
International, sorry, yeah.
And I thought that I was looking at that, and I saw this little logo on the back, and it turns out that it's kind of funny. Let's see if we can scroll that so that everybody can see the has a little logo for the ISS Orbital Outhouse Team.
Wow. Yeah.
Pretty good logo there.
Yeah.
So pretty advanced, right? They have to, it's not simply a gravity system, obviously, because
definitely not.
You're in space, and so there's no gravity, or
don't want your waste floating back up.
Yeah, so a lot of suction systems and things of that nature. Yeah,
that would be painful if you didn't use it correctly.
I couldn't even hazard a guess. Yeah, so so we have some examples of really old toilets, and really really quite modern and fancy ones like that. Now, this right here is another interesting toilet. Like, you've been on an airplane before, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a toilet quite like this?
No.
Yeah. So, turns out on some smaller aircraft there are also toilets. They don't quite afford you the privacy of some of the larger aircrafts that you may have flown on.
You're joking.
No.
There isn't a curtain. There isn't anything.
So, some of them actually have a form of like a curtain that you can kind of pull up a little bit. But yeah, in fact, actually, in this one's actually kind of neat because it's stowed and it's separate. However, I have it on good word from pilot friends that some of them are actually with it underneath an actual seat that you might have to swap someone with. So,
that would really suck if you first have to be moved and then you see someone,
Yeah, not a pleasant experience, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, so interesting toilets. Now, I know that you, I know that you really enjoy portraits and of individuals, and so I'm wondering if you know who this individual is.
I mean, not to be rude, kind of looks like every other old-timey guy.
Old-timey guy. Okay.
I mean, he has the stereotypical like beard and mustache like combo, and then he has like
pocket chain.
Yeah, pocket chain.
Little laptop computer off to the side.
Oh yeah. Let me. I want to point that out because I feel like people might not be able to see it, but it's right there.
I think it's actually a book. But so this right here is Thomas Crapper. Yeah, I thought I'd get a reaction out of that. So it is rumored that that Thomas Crapper gave his name to a certain activity that is pretty much universal among humankind as well as other animals.
Especially Puck.
Yeah, interestingly though, it's really actually just a coincidence. The similar word actually dates back to much older, like Middle English, and has been in use far longer than this individual.
Was it like people were like, where did he live? Could you tell me? Yeah. I want to make a joke.
Sure. So he was English, and the rumor fits because he was actually a plumber who then founded his own company to sell toilet apparatus and things like that.
I have to say he is a very well dressed plumber. Usually you see him in
this
overalls.
is his Well, that's because he quickly became a business person, and this was his improved toilet. He actually I'll show you. Let's see if I can make a little space.
I've seen a couple of these in like Airbnbs.
Yeah. One of he was really mostly a business person, but one thing that he invented was improved was that the way that toilets flowed out was this. So if you had imagine you have I'm not going to be able to draw a toilet here, but your toilet bowl right here, right?
Yeah.
And this was called an S bend or S tube. And
that's definitely like a very advanced name for back then.
Well, so when you flush, what would happen was the water.
Yeah.
The water would go down and flow this way, right? Because you'd have a bunch of water in your toilet and it goes down. However, what would one of the problems with toilets, of course, is that they're connected to these days to sewer systems, and sewer systems smell, and gases and things like that could come out. And so see
a lot of ads about the gases.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the S curve, what it did was, if you see right here how it goes up here,
would all the gases would be stuck there?
Well, when all the water would drain, you would end up having this kind of plug, if you will, of water right there.
Yeah.
You see what I'm talking about right there? Because obviously there's nothing pushing it out, and so you have this. So essentially, you have a natural seal, right? But one of the problems with this S system is that oftentimes that these were relatively high, and so the amount of suction, going down this tube would often just suck this whole plug out, and so you would have sewer gases in the house, or wherever it was. And so what he invented was amazing. I know. He turned it into a U.
Wow.
So we attribute much more to him than he actually really was responsible for. And really what it boils down to is eventually this kind of goes down to a downward spout, but that horizontal run is enough to generally to prevent that suction to pull the plug out. So anyway, that's Thomas Crapper.
I really enjoy how it says Crappers improved register
ornamental flush down water.
Oh,
water so
it's
you used to call it water closets. Yeah.
You would it's a decorative thing?
Yeah, I mean, they used to be pretty elaborate in some cases.
I mean, you can see around like here that it's very like it's carved.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So anyway, that's Thomas Crapper.
Ah.
Oh. Next thing that I wanted to show you here is a Roman toilet, right? And interesting thing about the Roman toilets is that we have a lot of examples of these, right? I mean, because there's a lot of obviously we have a lot of Roman sites. Romans were around for a long time, and they were also prolific in their conquests, and so you see examples of these all over the place.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is a Roman toilet.
Wow. It's definitely a party in there.
Yeah. So it was common to have these public bathhouses and toilet houses where you could just walk in and you use the facilities.
Yeah.
Interestingly, oftentimes these weren't directly connected to a sewer system, and sometimes they would have to flush water to essentially the pit or the holding area underneath to flush it down somewhere else. Is yes, please. Where do you think it went?
Some other place that you would then have to wash out.
Other neighborhoods further down the water. something that I thought would be interesting is if you see this area. See, I'm gonna kind of highlight that little. Looks like a little
Is that an early urinal?
gutter or something. No, actually not. It's if only it were. This is what
is that?
this is what the Romans used to clean themselves.
You know what this reminds me of? I
No,
bet you can guess.
I actually have no idea.
Think of the one time you've seen one of these. It was on one of our trips.
Okay, yeah.
Cuba.
Okay. Yeah, I don't in particular remember that, but I can believe that.
Remember when they had it in the bucket and they said, clean it after use?
I do actually remember that. Anyway,
Yeah.
so this is what they used. Interestingly, they these were often shared. So
I wonder how
yeah. This is somebody's rendition of what it might have looked like in Roman times when they were doing this. Interestingly,
you can see
obviously,
you can see you can see that these two guys, just two buds, they're like talking. They're like, "Hey man,
I mean,
did you see what was a Roman thing that they do? Did you see the fight at the Colosseum or something?"
Yeah,
I
sure.
don't know.
yeah, I would guess that the stench and everything, like you probably, and the proximity to other people, you probably tried to make it as quick as possible. So I'm not really sure they sat down and socialized like this artist suggested, but who knows.
This also isn't as sophisticated. I will say this one seems more sophisticated, but think about this. Does it have around 20 toilets for you and your buds to sit around and be like, what's up?
Yeah. Well, so in Rome, they a lot of these things were connected, as I understand, to something called the Cloaca Maxima, which
That sounds like something.
yeah,
creepy.
which really is our name, or the name that we've given to this major sewer line.
Yeah.
So this is a picture. Actually, it's because it's Rome, it still exists.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not used as a sewer line anymore, and there are only parts of it remaining. But this is an example of the Cloaca Maxima. Interestingly, I was wondering if you might have an idea as to what the word cloaca means.
Does it have to use with the second form of waste?
It does. It also the first form. It's actually fairly aptly named. It's part of the anatomy, typically of things like birds. And
Oh, is
other,
it when both come out?
Yeah, it's actually it's actually denotes a singular opening for all forms of waste. And so obviously humans are not in that group, but certainly birds and others are. And so you can imagine, well, what better name for a sewer than cloaca, right? Very appropriate there.
Yeah.
So
Oh, what is this?
I thought that this would be also an interesting diversion to toss at you here.
What is it?
So what is it? Yeah.
What is it?
So as you can see on the wall, it is called a cloaca. It is, like kind of tying this into our first slide there. You remember that our art installation of the golden toilet?
Yeah.
This is an art installation that somebody created that is a mechanical digester. You could put food in at the beginning, and out at the end, poop comes out.
No.
Yes, so it fully simulates the human digestive tract.
Would it actually stink?
That I presumably so. I haven't seen one of these in person myself, but my understanding
Does it
is
still
that,
exist?
my understanding is that there were multiple exhibits of various forms of this machine. So my guess is
I want to see this.
yeah, my guess is you would be able to find one somewhere. But so
Is it? Can we both agree that the cloaca symbol very much resembles the Ford logo?
it's a bit of a cross between, I'd say, Ford and Coca-Cola.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and yeah. Which, I think in the interest of wrapping things up in
Is
a
that
reasonable
ours?
amount of time, yeah. So this is if you remember back to where you started, where you introduced this podcast
yeah.
this time.
So this is what it looks like from a bird's eye view.
Yeah, this is the aerial
So
view of.
does that mean that we were around, like there?
Yeah, that's roughly about where we are.
Wow, that's
so-
cool.
So yeah, this this aerial view of the West Point wastewater treatment facility, you can see that if you walk by it, it doesn't look that too huge unless you take this
I was
trail right there. You can see.
I was walking with a friend of ours here, and I remember how long this went for and how we were astonished, and I can assure you all that it did stink for most of the way. It is not so the rest of where this is located, I'm not gonna say because not too keen on that, but where it is located, rest of the hike is beautiful. It's very breathtaking. As soon as you get around this spot, it's not as breathtaking. You don't really want to breathe.
It'll take your breath for sure.
Yeah, maybe not in a good way,
Maybe
but
not in a good way. Yeah.
yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah, so this interesting things that I didn't know. This actually manages the wastewater, combined wastewater and sewer from all of Seattle, as well as a lot of the surrounding cities, all including as far as Snohomish.
Wow.
So pretty huge volume. Daily volume is very, very high.
Really?
And it's about four times as much volume when there's a heavy rain. So
Oh.
a lot of toilets. A lot of toilets go head to that.
Is there an explanation on how this works? Because I do see that there are two long lines.
Yeah, actually,
each.
so there is the city does have a website for the wastewater treatment facility that will explain in detail and reassure you to great lengths as to how the wastewater is treated, what is flushed into the sound and what is not, and
Maybe you should link that in the description.
Yeah, maybe so. So anyway, that is where toilets go, and that's a little bit about the mysteries of toilets.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's it for today. You want to walk us out?
This is the Unresolved podcast. I'm Alton. That's Dad, aka Frank. I'll see you guys next time.
Well, we're back at the West Point wastewater treatment facility, and behind me you can see a sign that says no unauthorized people allowed beyond this point. Now, what secrets are they holding? Why are these secrets so secret? And sadly, to this day, because we are not authorized, we will never know these secrets, and they will remain unresolved.
Bye, 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 bye.